Hello. It is time for another backstage, and I'm just gonna kind of show you where we're at. Starting to work on the middle level of the diorama, and kind of some of the fun stuff I've done. So, pardon me. Recently, I just posted about this. This is the Alchemist's Laboratory, and I originally had thought this is I have it all together now, and I've got this in my hand, so I can't take it apart and show you. But anyway, this is inside the sewer system, and there's like this little area here that people can stand. And I put the entrance there. I had the idea earlier of having a swinging door here. This tape can come off now because I've got, this stuff glued here. So that's really effectively securing these two pieces together. There's no glue between them. I just wanted to leave it. So if I have to cut through it, it's not going to be an issue. Yeah, so let me just do that. Jeez, I'm just so unprepared. Ridiculously. There we go. Okay, so point is, previously I thought about putting a swinging door in there, kind of like, Young Frankenstein, the bookcase, wonderful, wonderful scene. And also in Last Crusade, the problem is real estate, and it's so apparent. It's so easy to see and so difficult, in this scale at least, to be, number one, precise enough to hide it properly, because I do want it hidden, that I just didn't want to do it. And to make it like that, it would have to be like all the way into here, into the room, and that's a lot of usable space. Sure, there's going to be stuff on it, but I don't know that I want that stuff swinging around, with that thing into this when it's open. So I decided against the swinging door deal, and I'm just going to have a door here. Now, it does need to be hidden. I totally want it hidden. And for that purpose, let's see if I can demonstrate this. Right here, this is the bottom of Barrett's coffee house. So here's the coffee house. Here's the basement of Barrett's. That's like a drain. So there's going to be like a little cesspool thingy here that drains down here into the sewer. Okay, so that's what that is. But this here is like another sort of drain into the sewer, but it's going to have a ladder to it. And that, again, is part of the story of Jimmy the Hand and some of the access to some of these, underground places and stuff like that, using the sewers as access to different places through the city of Krondor, as he earlier plied crime and in the latter, worked for the kingdom. So it's a really fun part of the story, and it's something I really want to flesh out as much as I can. So right below that, as this thing sits in the diorama, this door is there. So I need to basically put rungs on a wall with the ability for it to swing out or something, I don't know, to reveal this door. Because I want the door itself to be, or the entryway, whatever you want to call it, because it's carved out of rock. I want that to be hidden. So that's the idea. The other thing is, we're going to leave that there, because there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about in here, that coincide with that, but I haven't taken this apart, and so we'll talk about that later, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Okay, so then the next issue, or not issue so far, is just kind of the plan, is I wanted a, have you ever seen, like in old movies and stuff, they have a wood and dirt floor. Sometimes they'll have rock in the between, sometimes cobble, sometimes pavers. Sometimes, what I've seen a lot also is they'll have these would actually work if I could do it, but I don't know if I want to do it. They would take, trees and stuff, and they would just slice them. So it wouldn't be like this, because that would be slick. If they had boards, it's slick. But if you cut it off this way, and then you have basically this little slice of the cross grain of the log or the wood, and then they would put those down in a parquet fashion. It's not slippery. It's a hard wood floor, and if it's set in properly, it makes an effective floor. And I thought about that, but I didn't want that. I wanted a dirt floor, and so that was the other option, and that's what I have here. So what I did was I put in the wood. That's all secured in. But instead of just, then mounting this in the diorama, which is it goes in over here. Oh, geez, it's over here. See, I'm confused. It goes right here. This right here, just to support the diorama, is the cutout for this. That cutout right there is that. So that's why that is there. But this goes there, and I just, for whatever reason, I wanted this removable. I didn't want to glue this in to the diorama yet so that I could put dirt down here. So what I ended up doing was I took some linen last night, and this is just like, it's not linen, it's muslin. I don't know why I said linen. It's muslin, and it's pretty light, and I use it for everything. Like, and for years I've used it. See the wings on all these airplanes and stuff that I've built? It's the same material. So I didn't learn to sew on it. My mom taught me and my brother both how to sew because she was, grew up on a farm. She's just like, you got to learn this stuff. I thought as a kid it was just ridiculous, but now I'm so thankful. So anyway, that's what this material is. So I'm really familiar with it. It's great material. It's very inexpensive. And I took that, flipped this guy over, penned it in, just regular pens, and then I put Mod Podge and water. That's my Mod Podge and water mix back there. Just 50-50 Mod Podge and water. And I just did a light coat. And I think that was important because, when it gets moisture on it, it gets all wet and saggy and stuff like that. But then as it dries, it'll tighten up. Well, I didn't want to repeat that cycle. And so I wanted to kind of get one coat on it thin and let that, kind of stiffen it up initially. Then I went back and I used scenic glue. So now this is a lot more thick. A lot more thick? Is that English? It's a lot thicker, higher viscosity. And I painted that on in 2 different coats. And that really gave it, a good coating. And the purpose of that is now I can come back. Sorry, I'm getting my fingers in the way of the camera. I can come back with this, my sanded grout. I'm doing this one hand. I mean, come on. Are there any applause anywhere for the effort? So I'm going to come back with this. This is my sanded grout, and this stuff is brilliant. I use it for all of my groundwork. And so I want to just take that, dust this in here, make sure I don't get a lot on here, which it's easy to take off typically because you just wash it off. But I don't want to introduce a lot of water. I want this coating to hold up so it doesn't do any sagging. And, the less water, the less drying that it has to do. So I'm going to go in very, very carefully here, put in this, and it's super thin. This is, I don't know, it's pretty thin. Let's see, 32nd of an inch, something like that. That's how thin that wood is. And so that is all as thick as I want. And the reason I don't want it to sag, I want it to try to dry without, getting this cloth to release and be pliable again, is because it'll cause cracking. And I thought, maybe cracking's okay. I don't know. I don't want any cracking. That's what I decided. So that's why I'm going to these extreme efforts to try to build this thing up to a semi-rigid surface, so that I can put that dirt in there and let it dry. Once it dries, because it is grout, it'll be pretty rock hard, and I think I'll be safe, and if any cracks arise at that point, I think it'd be fine. What I don't want is like some unevenness that's going to make it difficult to work with. So, like I said, I'm going to take my time, and that's what I got going on there, and I'm all set up to do it. I just haven't started yet. Let's see. Next thing is going on over here. I'm going to try to. Though I've got this on this turntable down below, it's a heavy-duty turntable that I've used on dioramas, larger dioramas before. The problem is this one's not that heavy, and without the weight, this thing kind of grabs my turntable underneath, because it's like for a big chair, So it's a really heavy-duty turntable underneath there. And so this thing is so light, if I just grab it, I'll just move this and it won't turn and then it'll topple over. So anyway, I don't know why I'm saying all these things. This is the cool thing cool thing. See, dyslexia, it's a booger. I always wanted this out here. I knew it was going to look generally like this, but it's not exactly what I want yet. So what I'm super excited about is this. The pilings, number one. How they interact with the water. Just like I said on some videos before, I think. I did it down here, and I was just super excited how the barnacles and the I don't know what it is, but just like the algae, the mosses, whatever the heck it is. And then the salt, and here I need to kind of, get a little bit more. You can kind of see it there, but I used white to build up some salt. I am fascinated with that. I think it's just a really neat thing, and I think it'll be wonderful to do these. They're going to be a lot darker. They're going to be wet. They're going to, have stuff growing on them. This is going to be a sandy bottom. So this... this is our temple cave. This is in solid rock. This is an indeterminate distance between here. It's not just this. The distance between here and there's not a physical entrance down here. There's going to be a portal that I still need to put into this thing to get here. So that was one of the things that my awesome neighbor said was, there should be a portal. And I'm like, oh, okay, done. So there's going to be a portal to get into this thing. And I've kind of, I don't have a lot of room anywhere but right here. This area right here, I still think there's room for maybe some kind of a portal, something or other. But that's how you're going to get there. So this is not a true distance. To say this thing is not to scale would be ridiculous at this point, because there's nothing to scale on this. I am just completely building this. I mean, I don't even know. Well, anyway, I'm not going to go into the scale. Let's get back to this. I love the old... it's hard to watch because there's just so much goofy and weird things now about it. But I loved the movie Dr. Dolittle, the original. And I can't take the singing. That's part of one of it. But I do love the movie, and the imagery is just fantastic. I absolutely love that. And I think it was Albert R. Broccoli, that did that. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, this is what I imagine when I think about a doc. I imagine the opening scenes of Dr. Dolittle, the original, and the fishermen mending nets, cats on the dock. I'm very excited to put, Oscar in this diorama. It's a really fun thing. Popeye was a goofy movie, but wonderful imagery. See, that's the thing. I really tie into movies a lot of times because of what I see. I've talked about, transporting and stuff like that before, meaning that it's like, I'd kind of like to be in the jungle. So it's Indiana Jones. I'd like to be in the desert. Same movie, just that kind of a thing, not doing any kind of metaphysical thing. And so that's what I think of when I think of certain movies. You know, what excited me about that movie, and the dock scene, the water scene, the village kind of precariously hanging off the rocks in the Popeye movie from the late 80s, 80s, early night. I don't remember when. That's what I remember. And also, you know, those classic Italian movies, you know, with the white painted brick, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to go that route. You know, that's much later. But I have reminiscence. You know, fishing and fishing villages are so ancient that I didn't think, frankly, there'd be a heck of a lot of difference in the way they're constructed. So I just, you know, did it the way I know docks are done today, somewhat. And that's when I went there. And I think the same thing about the decorations on top. You know, a person mending a net is, you know, 10,000 years old. So that is what's coming down here. The other thing that's great about this is the spillway comes out of it. And in the storyline, you know, you just can't from here get to the sewer. I mean, where, you know, there's no just ready access to the sewer, right? But you want to get to the sewer as part of the campaign. Well, there's one entrance right there. One. And so that's part of, you know, the quest or the building of the campaign is figuring out, you know, how do we get there? You know, here's another way to get in. There is that access point that I talked about that goes down. There's another one. There's a spill, you know, but it's like if there's a bunch of muck and that's where all their garbage goes. How nice is that going to be? So that's the kind of thing is if you're playing on this thing, I have to be able to move between levels. And up here, it's pretty rudimentary, you know, you understand it. But down here, I've got to build ways that are kind of fun and unique and the DM can figure into it. Here's another way. If you should come in here, you know, to this is the warehouse for the Upright Man. He's kind of like the mob boss of this medieval city. This is his office, by the way. And there's a whole story there, and I'm not going to rehash that now. But if you're interested, just ask, and I would love to tell you. I'm going to close this. That's a secret, you know, get out quick little panel that you can't see on this side, but he can push that out. But then you get into this warehouse, and you go all the way down. Well, if you come in here, and you're not supposed to be in here, then somebody that's supposed to be here can pull this, and that releases a trap door. Now, underneath that trap door are some slippery stone steps, and that drops down into an oubliette. And, of course, the oubliette is, that's it. You get in there, you don't get out. Maybe if somebody comes to rescue you, but if you're, like, side questing and you're down there, nobody can hear you in there either. You know, that was the other thing. You couldn't hear people down there. But if, let's just say, you're a pretty smart, athletical person. If you come through there and, you know, you get the right roll or whatever, and the DM has worked it into the story, then it's possible to catch yourself and very easily jump this way. You know, it's like a one-shot deal. Grab that ledge and pull yourself up to this ledge, and there's this little tiny, I mean, you got to squeeze your ways through to get through it, but it connects to the sewer and you drop down into the sewer. So that's another way into the sewer. So, you know, it's that kind of stuff that I'm trying to build into this, and I'm trying to do it in a fun way because, you know, you're trying to play different campaigns in this thing, I hope, not just one campaign. I imagine having a couple of storylines that you can have more than one game. I am going to have stuff in here, certainly, that I've built for it, but I'm going to try to make it as mobile as possible. Even the stairway, I'm not going to lock that in. I've got it. It's over. It's somewhere, but it's not locked in, so it could be even moved. So anyway, that's just kind of an overlook. Let me go back this way, and that's it. So In order of like videos that I've posted already, I did these things last night. It's Tuesday, right around noon. So I did both of these, but I posted about this morning, and then I posted about this for Thursday, and then tomorrow I'll show the results after I do, all the sand, grout, and stuff like that. Because this is one that's going to most likely have to dry overnight because I can't really start working on it yet. I'm still editing today. But I want to take a break during lunch and, do one of our backstage videos. I hope you like these. It's a lot of fun. Oh, this was kind of something I wanted to show you because, so this is just like a large square. It's like is it a rafter square or a contractor square or something like that? Anyway, it's a big damn square. And what I do is I stick it in a little Jorgensen clamp here. And then that's how I figured out where sorry, I had to get that moved in place. That's how I figured out where everything will, kind of terminate. Because I didn't have this thing planned in and all worked out mathematically. That's what the smart folks do. I have to do it just like in practical terms because I'm just like, I don't know. But this works really well by placing this here and, by moving it in and out as I go to this corner when I was trying to, figure out where to cut off all these extra pieces that I'm cutting on because, this is not just here. It's meant to continue on. And so that's what these other pieces are. I don't have any ebonizing solution on them yet because I put them later. But I need to show that this dock continues on. It's not just right here. So that's what this other stuff is. And by having this straight edge, that's perfectly plumb, it allows me to go on here and make these cuts so that when you look down, it's nicely trimmed off and everything looks proper and all that kind of stuff. Though looking at it now, it looks like a little cattywampus. So I might have to do something there. Anyway, so yeah, that's about it. Holy cow, this has been a long one. I really hope you're having a great day. I sure as heck am. I've got a lot planned for this week and, more work in here. I've got all those little tiny toyish figures that Mrs. MC got, and I'm thrilled to work on them. I just, when I start on these, I kind of want to get the big stuff in there first, and I still need a hearth. I think Shane dialed in this morning and commented, is there going to be a fire or a bubbling cauldron? I think he said, and it's like, yeah, absolutely. I got to do one of those. And I have to have some kind of something going on in here, plus shelves of just arcane looking weirdness. That's what I'm hoping for. Candles, I've never done a scale drippy candle, but those are always in here, the drippy candle thing. So, yeah, it ought to be good. Hope you have a wonderful day. I'm going to get back to editing, and later on, I'll get this thing done and filmed, and I'll post that in the morning and show you what it looks like. Have a great day. We'll see ya.